breakdown of why we are irresistibly drawn to irrational things. And I don't mean just beliefs, but I mean things. Why we do some of the most irrational things. Coming up next hour on Coast to Coast AM, this is Ian Punnett. All right, so back to Alejandro Rojas, who's the spokesperson for MUFON. Now, Alejandro, you've seen the whole video, correct? The Peckman video?
Well, the Stan Romanek video. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, but from the Peckman news conference.
Yes.
Okay, as you look at it, just looking at it, does it look authentic to you?
It does look like something that I haven't seen before. It looks like very much better than any video I've seen before. And there were actually, to my surprise even, because you couldn't see a whole lot there, some interviews I did where people were like, wow, and even some of these media people who were skeptical coming into it. And so there are some people that were amazed by the video, and I do feel that it does warrant further analysis along with the rest of Stan's case. I think the way it was released is awful. It was a terrible idea, and I felt that way from the beginning, to release just a tiny bit of something. First of all, to hold a press conference where you don't allow the press to have access to what you're presenting.
Right. Exactly.
Ridiculous. And to promise something like this to our crowd, our community, like you all, it's going to make the reaction like you all have. It's going to make you extremely frustrated because you're being promised something, the what we're looking for here, the prize. And so that was a really poor idea. I think the best idea, and the idea that most people have been advising, or many, is to get that analysis, get as much credible, investigation and research done as possible. And that's why lots of this stuff has been held up for years, because they've been searching for that. And really, to be honest, one of the people who's been looking for those resources just hasn't been able to find those resources. But it warrants it. If there are people out there, if there are scientists, if there are people with these impeccable credentials that are needed, those type of people really need to take a look at Stan's stuff. And I'll tell you, as someone who is a MUFON investigator, who it believes in the MUFON credo of, waiting for real credible evidence, I think that people will find some very interesting things in some of what Stan has to present, and maybe there's more in this video. But I have no doubt there's more in the video. And what you said at the very beginning of what you were just commenting on, to me, is really the crux of it, is that this should be investigated. There's something there to it. Yeah. That, to me, is a entirely different question of whether it looks real. And I come back to the Patterson-Gimlin film, right? The film of Bigfoot. They took it, they released it, and now it's been 40 years of people taking it apart, looking at it frame by frame. If you want free investigations into it, just release it out free to everybody, and you'd be surprised who's going to put it through what ringer at what university, and that's for free. The way it was done, it unfortunately, for a lot of people who are going into this press conference on Friday saying this is all a big scam, it's a con, that did nothing to take away that feeling. But let me grab a bunch of people who want to get on the conversation with you. Michael is east of the Rockies in Yankton, Sodak, as we call it up here in the upper Midwest, in Yankton, South Dakota. Michael?
You know the town?
Oh, I know Sodak anyway.
Not far from you.
Yeah. So you're talking with Alejandro Rojas. Go ahead, Michael.
Okay, and I'm talking with you, Ian, and I could listen to you for 5 days a week if someday that'll happen.
Thank God you've got George.
I think it just bespeaks a scam. I mean, it's like you say, the way it was released, if this is something, I've listened to this show for 20 years, and, people say that we're going to give you definitive evidence. And supposedly we have finally definitive evidence, and it's released in such a secretive way. And I've seen the picture. I've seen better stills from EP. I just think if something is really going to break, and something is really going to happen, and if it's going to happen on this show, Why can't it be definitive? Why can't it be aired over every major broadcast in the country? We have to investigate it. Why do we have to investigate it?
Well,
if it's definitive.
Oh, wait, sorry, go ahead. You got to the end there. I'm sorry, Michael, but go ahead. Let me give Alejandro a chance to respond to that.
Okay, I would say, it does. It is wise at times to do some research. If you have, unfortunately, when you release stuff to the media doesn't always do what they should do and do some investigation on their own and getting their own credible people to take a look. I think it is wise to do your own research. We do that at MUFON when we investigate. For example, Stephenville, we took a hard look at that stuff. We had
Texas
our
case?
professionals look at it before we got it out. And so I can see that. Now, I agree that it was just that it was the wrong way to do it. And I can see people's frustrations. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of people with these same feelings before, the ball even gets rolling with the investigation coming out. If it was MUFON, we wouldn't have done it this way.
When is this documentary supposed to be out that has the whole video in it?
You know what? It's my understanding that there really is no, there aren't the resources to complete something like that. The resources still need to be found.
West of the Rockies, Donna is in Sierra Vista, Arizona, for Alejandro Rojas. Donna, go ahead.
Hi, how are you tonight?
Good.
Okay, I seen the video earlier, the whole video, and at first I was apprehensive about being it real, but then, the alien's eyes are like blinking, like they blink. It's not a very long video. It's only like about 22 seconds long. And I have the website where the whole video is, where it's not just a still shot, but it's kind of convincing. It's weird.
Well, I haven't seen it. Where is it? Where can you go see the whole thing?
Oh, no, the real video has not been released. What you saw was probably a fake. There is someone who has created a fake.
Oh, okay. Well, the one I saw, it kind of looked real. I don't know if it's the real one or not, but it was just shown to me. So,
but there you go, Donna. It's a fake, and that looked real to you, and yet we know that's not the real video, and that just adds to the complication, doesn't it, Alejandro?
Well, and that's a really good point, and that's why even one video alone, like you were talking about with the Sasquatch contest, one video alone is going to do nothing. There's plenty of video out there. I know from experience now, a video alone will not do it. You need corroborative evidence. You need witnesses. You need a whole package here. One video will not do it because anything can be created or recreated.
Right.
That's why, such as a case like this, a whole body of evidence would be much more effective than one sliver.
And something more than just somebody blinking, I think, would be helpful, but maybe I'm being picky. Paul is in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, for Alejandro Rojas on Coast to Coast AM. We're talking about the still alien video image. Paul, where are you with that?
Let me just say something. I mean, it was another photo you guys had on your site not too long ago with this alien peering out of the window on the White House lawn, the Rose Garden behind George Bush. I mean, this photo, is really basically no different than that. I mean, this situation here, is a great opportunity for the debunkers to once again say, well, this is not a real phenomenon. This is something.
What a bunch of kooks.
I'm sorry?
What a bunch of kooks they're going to say.
Exactly. And this is, I'm a firm believer in this UFO thing. I've seen things in myself that I can't explain, but again, this is the perfect opportunity for the debunkers to say, well, had this been a real video, had this been a real alien in the video, then it wouldn't have been released the way it was, and it's not definitive. It's not going to take a video or a picture to finally convince the world this is real. It's going to be something far beyond 20-second or whatever, how long the video was, black and white video to convince the world. It's going to be something far more spectacular than that.
Well, Alejandro, how long is the video? I thought it was like 90 seconds or 2 minutes of this alien looking in the window and blinking. Yeah,
the cut version that was displayed was only about 45 seconds, something like that, around a minute. And then some enhanced versions were shown. So that piece is very short. Of course, Stan in the full video, you see Stan in the picture when he sets up the camera, and then his reaction when he looks out the window. And like on Larry King, he had mentioned where he saw this thing running away. And